If you've been building with AI and you keep hearing the words managed agents, but you have no idea what's actually different about it, this video will make it click. Because 2 days ago, Anthropic launched something that could save you months of infrastructure work. And most people are completely misunderstanding what it is. Here's what building an AI agent actually looks like today. You pick a model, you write a loop, you handle tool calls. Okay, great, that's the easy part. Then you need sandboxing so your agent doesn't destroy your production database. You need state management so it remembers what it was doing after a crash. You need credential handling so it can actually access your systems. You need retry logic, timeout management, error recovery, and every time the model updates, half of your agent breaks. Developers are spending weeks, sometimes months, just building the plumbing before they can even start building the thing they actually wanted. That's the real pain. The model is the easy part. Everything around it is a nightmare. 2 days ago, Anthropic launched something that changes how agents get built. And I don't mean another wrapper around an API. I mean a fundamentally different architecture. They call it Managed Agents. And the core idea is so simple, it's almost frustrating that nobody did this sooner. What if your agent's brain and its body didn't have to live in the same place? Let me show you what's actually inside. Here's the key insight. Every AI agent has two parts. The brain, that's Claude, the model that thinks and decides, and the hands, that's the environment where it actually does things. Files, terminal, browser, APIs. In the old world, these lived together. Your server ran the model calls and executed the actions in the same process, which meant if the action crashed, the brain crashed too. Managed Agent separates them completely. The brain lives in Anthropic's infrastructure. The hands live in a disposable Linux container. The brain sends instructions, the hands execute them. If the hands crash, you just spin up a new container. The brain never loses its context. This is called the brain-hands architecture, and it changes everything about how you think about reliability. There are exactly 4 concepts you need to understand. First, the agent. This is the reusable template. You define what model it uses, what tools it has access to, what instructions it follows. Think of it as the job description. Second, the environment. This is the sandboxed container where work happens. It has a file system, a terminal, network access. It's completely isolated. Third, the session. This is one conversation between the brain and the hands. You start a session, give it a task, and it runs until the task is done. Sessions can last minutes or hours. And fourth, events. These are the real-time stream of everything happening. Tool calls, results, thinking, errors. You can watch your agent work in real time. 4 concepts. That's it. But here's the catch. There's something about how sessions work that most people are getting wrong. We'll come back to that. This isn't theoretical. Real companies are already shipping with this. Notion built an AI assistant that helps users organize their workspace. They went from prototype to production in weeks, not months. Rakuten deployed agents across 5 departments in 5 weeks. 5 departments, that's customer support, content generation, data analysis, code review, and internal tooling. 1 architecture, 5 use cases. Sentry had a single engineer build an AI that triages and resolves production issues. 1 engineer. And Vibe Code created an entire coding assistant that generates full applications from natural language descriptions. These aren't demos. These are production deployments handling real traffic. Okay, that's how it works. But here's the part Anthropic doesn't put in the headline, and it's the reason some developers are walking away. First, vendor lock-in. This only works with Claude. No GPT, no Gemini, no Llama. If you build on this and Anthropic changes their pricing or their model quality drops, you're stuck. Second, it's still in beta. The documentation says public beta. That means things will break, APIs will change, features will be deprecated. Third, the pricing math. 8 cents per session hour sounds cheap until you realize tokens are billed separately. A heavy agent session with Opus could run you $5 to $10 an hour in token costs alone. The session hour fee is just the beginning. And fourth, no Bedrock, no Vertex. If your company requires running through AWS or Google Cloud for compliance reasons, this doesn't work yet. These are real limitations, and you need to understand them before you commit. So here's the big picture. Managed agents isn't just another API feature. It's a fundamental shift in how agents get built. Stop building plumbing. Start building products. The 4 concepts, agent, environment, session, events, map directly to decisions you're already making. What model to use, where to run it, how to manage conversations, and how to monitor what's happening. The difference is now you don't have to build any of that infrastructure yourself. That's the click. That's what managed agents actually means. Now you know what it actually is. Not the buzzword, the real thing. If you want to understand the economics behind this, how much it really costs and whether the math works for your team, I made a separate video breaking down every dollar. And if you want to know how this fits into the bigger picture, the war between Anthropic, OpenAI, Google, and Amazon, I've got that covered too. Links in the description. Subscribe if this helped. I'll see you in the next one.